Hey everybody, hope you can hear me, hope you can see me. It is Memorial Day. Now today, May 27th, is a day of remembrance, right? We remember and we honor those who have fallen serving our country.
Still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the brave and the home of the brave?
If you guys know anybody that has died, passed, doesn't matter what branch, I think we all kind of know somebody that has passed on that was a service member, and I want to kind of remind us to also think about the people who have died from suicide too, because although them people didn't die in battle or as a result of combat, they indirectly have suffered and now have paid the highest price, whether it was suicide or not. So that's something to remember, right? And to remind ourselves that can be a very tough job to be a service member of any branch. And so today we remember those people that have fallen, and both service members in a way that brings light to how much effort it takes for them beautiful people to go into battle and to lay their life on the line, orders coming from higher up. I mean, that right there is just like, you got to really be committed and dedicated to that cause, and to fight for our country is a good cause. It's a well purposed cause. We got to fight for our country, right? We got to stand up. But I want to talk about something else today a little bit. Sometimes we can hypnotize ourselves in a way. We can get something so ingrained in our brain that we start to believe it ourselves, and then what we do is we start to strategize and justify on the lie, right? So whatever untruth you're telling yourself, you're also now therefore building a agenda or a paradigm or an agenda, right? You're building a whole different thing on that lie, on the fib that we're telling ourselves. So we can hypnotize ourselves into believing a lie. If we repetitively tell ourselves something that is untrue, our brain will then therefore start to build concepts, precepts, ideas, everything off of that untruth. And so if the enemy in our life is the devil, right? The devil is untruth. The devil is lie. The devil is deception. The devil is all those things wrapped up. So we know that the enemy in our life may not be indirectly out here pushing and shoving us. But listen, by planting an untruth in our brain, in our spirit, the enemy is therefore setting in motion a series of events that are going to be piggybacked off that lie. So we need to combat that lie with more truth. And the more truth we get into our life, the more we're going to be able to combat the untruths and the deception and the lies and the thievery that's going on by the devil, the enemy, right? And the enemy is untruth. Okay? So if you got something stuck in your craw, you're doing something that you can't figure out why you keep doing it. The first step in this, and then I'll get off this subject, but the first step in trying to untrain your brain and unhypnotize yourself is to realize that you're doing it to yourself. That means that you have to recognize and you have to be aware, okay? You have to be able to see where your life is faltering, where you're making mistakes, why you can't get out of a depression or an anxiety mode or a place that you're stuck in, right? It's first you have to recognize that you've been telling yourself something that might not be true. And therefore, you're compiling a whole life and a whole way of living on top of them lies. Now that right there is torture, my friends, because the worst thing that we can do to ourselves is lie. Lie to ourselves, lie to our companions, lie to our spouses, lie to our children, lie to our coworkers. Lying does nothing but create havoc. And I, in my own life, when I am dishonest, I try not to be dishonest, you guys, but I'm only human and I make mistakes. But when I am dishonest, I'm very aware of when I'm dishonest because I try not to be dishonest at all. So when I do make a lie or a fib and I don't correct it in due time, God's gonna make sure that I learn the lesson usually twofold, and I'll have to pay the price, right? You get caught in an awkward position or an awkward question, or somebody fires a quick question at you, and you know, you tell a lie. That happens to me, you know. It happens so very few times, though, that when that happens, I'm like, oh man, and try to correct it or try to find a back channel back to making that right? So honesty is key, but not only honesty with other people, but honesty with yourself. So the first step in recovery is what? Admitting that you're powerless over your addiction. So you have to what? You have to admit that okay, and that your life has become unmanageable. So if we're admitting in recovery that we had a problem or that we have a problem, and then it needs to be recognized, and then it needs to be dealt with, and it has to be dealt with the help of an external force. We cannot do this alone. So although we're not going out asking other people or therapists or psychotherapists to hypnotize us, we're doing that on our own. I think it's a very valid argument. I think it's a very valid point that we ourselves can set in motion a whole web or a whole catacomb of issues in our lives simply based on one lie, okay? One untruth. One time where things got manipulated to the point where we're starting to build a whole nother section of our life upon that lie. So with our drug addiction, with our alcohol addiction, we've got to whittle all of our problems down. Not quickly and not all in one time, but in recovery and in our step work and all of our early recovery, we've got to do this. We've got to lay it all down the line. And we've got to figure out the areas where we're maybe not doing so well. And we also got to point out and expound upon our strengths. The things that we're doing in our lives that are helping our recovery, right? Because we want to do more of that, right? And less of the things that we are doing more of now that are hurting us. So it's a formula, and if you get it down, it's a very easy formula to apply, right? To recognize. So if you're telling yourself you're going to be sick, 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 I'm sorry, and I hate to say this, but more than likely, one way or the other, you're going to be sick, okay? That's not good news for people who are like hypochondriacs who want to be sick all the time, because you know what? They are sick all the time because you know what? They're telling themselves they're sick all the time. So they'll find something in themselves and it's the worst thing, right? And they'll think about it, they'll worry about it, they'll have anxiety about it. Everything is consumed about that. So they're not leaving much in the bank of the way of positivity, right? They're not telling themselves they're strong, they're able, they can get through this. I had to start being honest with myself and telling myself that, you know, I have no control over whether I'm going to be sick or not. That's out of my hands. I can do things that are going to help myself be more healthy and or be more sick. It's the same thing in recovery. We apply that formula to our life. We can do more of the things that make us drink and use and be mean a-holes, or we can do more of the things like reading our literature, practicing our steps, going to meetings, having a sponsor, sponsoring people, having service, 12 step. That all is going to help you stay in recovery. Because that's where I want to stay. I want to stay in that boat, right? I make sure my side of the street is clean. I try to be honest as much as possible. I try to be kind. I try to be genuine. I try to be as loyal as I can to people. And the minute you show me disloyalty, I'm usually gonna have a hard time trusting or giving you loyalty again. But there are a select few people out there that I've given a couple chances to, and it just didn't work. That's how it is. That's life. That's life. I'm sure I've let people down. I'm sure I've lied to people. I'm sure people have said, you know what, that Irish guy, that Jesse, he's a complete loser. I hope there's only a few of you guys out there, but there are people out there that don't like me, don't like the message. But I had an epiphany the other day. And maybe it was something that you've thought about, maybe you've had too in your life. But think about the people who show you their true colors. Think about the people that are willing to show you who they truly are. Think about what a gift that is. Think about what an opportunity that is to see something for what it really is. And God, the universe, however you see it, because I respect your opinion and your views and your insights and feedback. I respect all that. But think about this. There's a lesson in everything. It's always there. It's always there. It's up to us to see it. We gotta see it. It's up to us. It's our attitude. It's our outlook. So if everything's cloudy and rainy and dreary in your life, I'm telling you, everything that you see going out is going to be the same way. So what you put in, what you get out, right? So don't lose hope, my friends. Have the faith that God's going to carry you through. And I was around people, and I am around people who don't have faith in God, and they laugh at God. They think God is a complete joke. And I maybe had that ignorant view at one point too. And I can't fault them people because they haven't seen the greatness, the power of God. You know, they've lost people in their life. They've been handed a shitty set of cards. Pardon my language, but to them people, they have a real bone to pick with the one true God that has given them this plight, if you will. But the problem is that they don't believe in the God that's given them the plight, but they believe in the plight that's been given by the God. Amen. So if our true God is giving out plights, there's a reason for that. It's not because he wants to give you hardship because he wants to break your back. No, he wants to make you stronger. There's an alternate view here, my friends. And I love each and every one of you. And I want you guys to get this message this day. And I want you guys to know that we are, in a way, hypnotizing ourselves. We're practicing psychotherapy on ourselves. Because we are telling ourselves sometimes when it's untrue that we're sick or that we're ill or that we can't do this or that we're fat or we're ugly or this or that or anything. When truly it couldn't be anything further from that. I won't say from the truth because that's not true. It's not the truth. It couldn't be anything further from the lie. Over here, get onto the truthful side. What a Memorial Day. Amen. What a Memorial Day. I thought I'd rip out a video today. I had to run a few errands. I had to leave the house. I didn't want to leave the house today. I wanted to cuddle up in my jammies all day. But hey, I got out. I had to do my errands. I was let down today a little bit, but that gives me more reason to be up and to be happy because I'm figuring out who people are. The people I can trust, the people I can't trust, the people I know are going to be there for me when I need them or not. You know, that's life. I want to be that guy for you. I want to be Irish guy, the guy you can count on to be there with some advice or with a message in a video that's going to be hopeful. Because I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube sometimes, and some of the stuff that I watch on YouTube, I have to turn off now because I'm realizing that what I'm putting in is what I'm going to get out. If I'm watching something that's going to be fear is near, doom and gloom all the time, then that's what I'm going to think is going to happen. And you know what? God's got us right where he wants us. The universe is still happening. Everything is still rolling the way it should be. There isn't a cog in the wheel, all right? Things are supposed to happen this way, right? This is all the way it should be. So put on that smile, turn that frown upside down. I know it's hard from time to time, but just think about this. Think about the way that you're hypnotizing yourself into believing that you're, whatever it is, a bad person, or you're fat or ugly or old or whatever it is. Stop telling yourself that. Amen? Tell yourself that there's hope and that you're a beautiful person. Whether you believe you are a beautiful person or not, you are a beautiful person. You are. You have to start believing that you are a beautiful person. Whether you believe it now, today, or not, that's irrelevant. Let's give this a couple days, a couple weeks. Let's give it a month of telling yourself that you are beautiful. And you're going to start to see that you are. You are a beautiful person. You're able. You're worthy. You're valued. You're loved. You're valued. Sorry. I love you guys. I want you guys all to succeed in this journey, in this fight, in this recovery. And if there's anything that I can do, please tell me. And please reach out. But I'm going to get this video edited. I'm going to get it uploaded. And that all takes time and effort. And I want you guys to know that I love each and every one of you. Whether you love me or believe in God or believe in me or whatever, however you see this world, I want you to know that there's a safe place for you here to know that I don't hold ill wills. If you've disrespected me and stuff like that, I'm done. That's fine. People can pray for my demise all day. It is what it is. That's going to happen. But that doesn't mean that I'm praying for yours. And it doesn't mean that I want you to fail and to slip and trip and to fall on your face, even though I know that there are some people out there that want me to fail and to slip and trip and fall on my face, right? That's just the way it is. That's the thing. That's what we talk about, having enemies, right? We got to know our enemies, and we got to know who's out there to help us or to harm us. And when people, our enemies, show themselves, that gives us an opportunity to see who they truly are and their true colors. Amen. So I love each and every one of you. I'm home now. God bless you guys.